the bottom right. Oh, this one. Okay, let me. You have to write an equation. So whenever you see that word equation, you know somewhere you have to have an equal sign. Total amount Y that Winrider earned a day as a handyman for fixing X amount of mechanical devices. We've already agreed that we want to kind of change the variables next year, but what you should have, going back to here, he decided to leave the Klans laundry. He took a new job and was making $6 a day. So I know I need a 6. Plus an additional 50 cents for each mechanical device that he fixed. And they're calling the mechanical devices X. Okay? So what you should have, and I'm going to move the 6 over a little. $6 plus 50 cents, which you could put down as 50 or 0.50, times the amount of mechanical devices that he repairs, X, equals the total amount that he earns, Y. Crazy as that looks, that's pretty close to what you should have. There are some other things that would still work though. What do you have? Come show me how you have it written, and I will. And then what we can do too, Olivia, and anybody else that has something different, when we substitute 12 in, if it works for this and it works for yours, if you have something different, then you know your equation is good. Show me what you have here. Put it here. I don't even need to go any other further because we learned that math is commutative and that would work. Different?
Yeah.
Come write it. Come write it so we can all see it. It's been a while since we've done this too. This is back in Mod 4. And I don't know if we covered it extensively. That would work too. Absolutely. All right, now when you substitute 12 in for X, when you put it in, this 12, it becomes 6 plus, I'll rewrite it, 6 plus the whole number 6, plus 0.5 times 12. What do you get?
As a total answer?
Let me substitute it in first. PEMDAS says you got to evaluate this first. So basically what's really asking is what's half of 12? Bring everything else down. And the answer is 12 bucks. How many of you got it right? Wow, that's impressive. That's good. I got a good feeling you guys are going to do all right. You're going to do all right. Now we come to this, and I think this one was the easier one. I really did. So you make equivalent fractions for your orange. Count by 6s, count by 3s. All right. Now you could have variations here, okay, because we've determined the value of the. I'll give you a candy if you could tell me what the value of this ratio is. Might as well revisit that. Aveline, 2 to 1. So, if, for instance, you didn't want to count by 6s and count by 3s, you can count by 2s and count by 1s and you would be okay. Okay, you can count by 2s and count by 1s and you'll get that. You'll get equivalent ratios too, because there's ratios in between here that we do not need to show. An 8 to 4 is in here. A 14 to 7 is in here. Honestly, though, if you count by 6s and count by 3s, and count this then by 7s and 4s, you'll get the answer that they're asking for on the bottom. This one's already in ratio, value of ratio form, so you can't take 7 to 4 and reduce it anymore. I'm counting by 7s at the top. I'm counting by 4s at the bottom. And then you have a match to figure out which is stronger here. Adeline, I owe you a candy, so go grab that. So which flavor, basically, when the amount of water is being held constant, you're going to then take a look at which has more teaspoons of flavor. So even if you weren't able to do this, can you do it now? What will taste stronger? Gabriella. Orange. And your explanation, which doesn't have to be word for word what I'm going to write down, you do have to make mention that when the water is the same in both solutions or in both mixtures, that it becomes the mixture that has the greater amount of teaspoon flavoring. Anything different that you want me to respond on? Go ahead.
If you have more flavoring than water, it will be stronger. So if there was water of 12 in both orange and cherry, and flavoring of 24 in one and 21 in another, the one with the 24, which is orange, will be stronger.
Full credit. Anybody else want me to respond? This is so good. Have you had this before? Have you ever had the Code Red Mountain Dew?
I like the Baja Blast.
It's awesome. It's like a cross between soda and fruit punch. It's probably not good for you because it's loaded with sugar, but it does taste good. If anybody comes from down south in Texas, there's a drink called Big Red. They don't make it up north. It's a southern drink, and it tastes like Mountain Dew. It's like everybody drinks it down there. It's like you have to order it online to get it shipped up to New York. Are we good with this one? Yes? Okay. See, you learn something new every day. You learn about Big Red. Another tough question. I thought it was tough. Paige, you didn't think it was so tough, did you? How'd you get your final area? No, we got to do it. You're close, but not quite. There's a lot of layers to this question. You have to plot the points correctly. You got to connect your lines correctly. You have to realize it's a trapezoid, and you have to break it up into two shapes in order to find the area. Did you do that? Then you got to count the base correctly. You got to count the height correctly. You got to remember that area of a triangle. Base times height divided by 2. You have to remember you got to do 2 triangles and add it together. Olivia, did you do it? What'd you get? Final answer. 130. Miss Bo, did you do it? What'd you get? Melissa, did you do it? What'd you get? 121. Joe, what'd you get? 130. Nick, what'd you get? Wolf, did you do it? Who did it? Who got 130? Who got something different? All right, let's do it. Okay, -8. I'm going to plot the points. -8, pos 8. That's A. Point B is 9, 8. Double check and make sure I'm doing this right. B. 5, -2. And -4, -2. It's a happy little trapezoid. Okay, did you break it up into 2 triangles? Doesn't matter whether you cut it from D to B or A to C. I'll do D to B. You'll wind up with the same answer if you do it right. Okay. If you didn't do it, let's do it now. So all of this, again, fair game. It could be on the final. So if you didn't know what to do or you had trouble with it, this is why I'm going over it. Okay. I'm going to call this triangle 1. I'll call this triangle 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I got a base of 17. Did anybody cut it this way and got a base of 17 on 1? Okay, great. Height. Technically, your height is from here to here. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did you get 10 as the height?
Yeah.
Okay, without doing all the formulas and whatnot, 10 times 17. But watch what I'm going to do. I'm going to split 10 in half because that's that little trick where you can knock it out. 5 times 17 gets you 85 for this triangle. I'm going to put it right in here just so I don't keep scrolling back and forth. 85 for triangle 1. Or I'm going to do triangle 2. This is my base. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Base of 9. Thank you. And the trick is when you split up a trapezoid into 2 triangles, the height for each one is exactly the same. So if I got the height of 10 on triangle 1, my height for triangle 2 is also 10. I'm going to split 10 in half. Close that door. Close that window for me. So when I do that, I'll get a 9 times 5, and that'll make this 45. And I'm about home free now because I just add my 85 and my 45, and you get 130. I lied. Okay? 130 is your answer. And most of you had that, so that, again, you're continuing to impress me. Is it this one? We just did it, right? So what if I just give you the answer because I kind of want to start you along. I'm going to do the did you get 102? 102 is your answer, and again, if you give me to go over it, I'd have to cover next show. What? Well, when you do the area of the 3 faces, you get a 9 times 2. I call this one. 9 times 3. 3 times 2. Multiply, add it together, multiply by 2. Okay, do you want to do 6 for everybody? Yeah. Come do it. It's been a long time since we've done tape diagrams. After you make your boxes, stop. Talk to the crowd. And as she's doing it, I'll just remind you guys, your tape diagram is always your given ratio. So if we have 7 for Billy, right, and 4 for Ryan, that's a 7 to 4 ratio. Make 7 boxes for Billy, 4 boxes for Ryan. Okay? All of those boxes together, and Paige will answer this, equal how many baseballs?
9.
All of them together, 99. So what we do is this all represents 99. And then what'd you do to figure out the magic number for each box?
I added 7 and 4, and I got 11, and then I divided 99 by 11.
Right. If you remember back in quarter 1, the goal is to try to find out what each box is worth. So 11 into 99 gives us the magic number of 9. Now put your 9 in every box. Put there. All right, and finish it up then to figure out. I'll scroll up for you. She's taking her magic number of 9 and multiplying it by the amount of boxes that represent Billy. How many got 63 for Bill? Great. And then 9 times the number of boxes for Ryan, which is 4, gives you 36. And then if you do everything right, the number that you get here, guys, it's just a little mental check. This has to add up to the total amount of 99, and it does. Joe? I'd have to take a look at it and say, did you make a tape diagram? I'll have to take a look and say. Santina? Right, that's exactly what. All of the boxes, which there's 11 of them, represent 99 baseballs hit. Then 11 goes into 99 9 times. That's our magic number. We put it in every box, and then we can figure out what each boy hit. Same thing with this. I want to get an idea of what you got. If I call on you, just tell me what you got for the tip, part A, because then everything should fall into place. Sam, what'd you get? Counselor. Katie. All right, that's half class, and you're right, $12. You can do it with a TRF. Did anybody use straight multiplication? Okay, if you do it as a TRF, it becomes, remember I told you, when you have a percent, you have an entire ratio. So 20% is 20 over 100. Remember, it's a part to whole. The whole amount of the meal was 60 bucks. And you have to figure out what the part is. Well, I may not be able to see what you're doing here, but we scaled down this morning and made 20 over 100 what?
210.
And then rewrote our ratio. And it becomes a multiplicative structure, or a constant of 6. So you multiply by 6, and that's how you get your 12 here. And anybody, now who did it with straight multiplication? You do a straight multiplication, you take your whole amount, 60, and you multiply by the decimal equivalent of the percent. And when you do that, you get 12.00, and that'll work too. Yeah.
Can't you do it the other way too, like 1
Yes, you can. I didn't realize that, but that's good too. Remember, I told you, you can look at ratios this way, but you can also look at it this way. Times 5, what times 5 makes 60, and Chelsea realized 12. That'll work too. Then everything else should fall into place. Take your 12, add it to the amount of the meal to get the total amount, 72. And then you got to split it up with 3 friends. 72 divided by 3, 24 bucks. That's a bingo.